Now we take a look at the Contracts Administration section. There are two ways that a contract can be created. One is manually from the listing, and the second is from the reservation form. We'll now have a look at the contract itself. Go to the Contracts menu, double-click Open a Contract. The first thing you'll notice is the timeline across the top. As you progress through the stages of the contract, the timeline will move accordingly. You will note that the vendor details are automatically input into the contract. The pricing details from the listing are automatically input into the contract. And all of the holding deposit and exchange deposit details are automatically input into the contract from the listing. In this example, we have manually created the contract, so now what we need to do is go in and add the purchases for this contract. Go to the Contacts tab and click on New under Purchases. You have an option here to select a new company or a new person. In this case, I'm going to select an existing person from my database, which is Wendy Jones. I'm going to click on Save, and now Wendy is the purchaser noted for this property. The next thing you need to do is go and add the solicitor for Wendy. Click on New. In this case, we're going to select an existing company, which is Jones Conveyancing. We're going to select the person, David Jones, click Save, and now David Jones has been added as a solicitor for the purchaser. Next, we're going to add the referrer or partner relevant to the sale. So I'm going to click on New. Again, selecting from the existing companies, click on Save. In the instances where we have mortgage brokers, we can go in and do exactly the same thing. Advisor type. I'm going to select from an existing company, pick David, click Save. Now we have all the contact detail for the purchaser, the vendor, the solicitors, and the advisors, and the referrers. We can now complete the contract. You will also note at the bottom that the builder's details are automatically input as they were assigned to the home design from the listing. In the case where we have a reservation from the reservation form, you'll need to select the reservation button for both the solicitor and the advisor. The idea behind this is that you'll select it, you'll be able to see if the advisor or the purchaser's details are already in the system, and if they are, you'll be able to link those to an existing purchaser. The next step is we want to progress this to record the deposits so that we can issue the contracts. So click on Deposit, and you'll notice that automatically it's telling me that there is a holding deposit and it must be entered first. So we click on here to holding deposit, and this brings up the Deposit tab. The Deposit tab is designed such that you can review all of the deposits received, all of the disbursements made, and know exactly how much money remains come settlement time. So now I want to add a deposit. I click on New. I then select the type of deposit, whether it's a holding deposit, exchange deposit, interest or land settlement. I then select the method, whether it be cash, EFT, bank guarantee, paid in by, the amount, the date deposited. Now you can also input dates the receipts are posted, date if money is invested, which account it's gone into, etc. All these additional fields are variables. Next, click on the Reconciled and then click Save. Once you have completed this, click Close. You can now see that the deposit has been added, that the balance of the exchange deposit required is $14,000, and that there is a total disbursement remaining of $1,000. Now that you've added the deposit, click on the Deposit tab, and you'll notice the timeline has moved across to the deposit stage. You'll also note that we have now moved to the Contracts tab. The Contract tab outlines all of the milestones through the contract process. Every time a milestone is achieved, a date is input into the system. Linked to these milestones are automated emails that you can generate to send to your purchasers, solicitors, and vendors relating to deposits received, sales advices submitted, contracts issued, exchanges, titles registered, etc. Next, I'm going to click on the sales advice submitted. As we can see, the timeline now moves to the advice and the dates input at the sales advice submitted. The next step is you can issue the contract. Again, you'll note the contract timeline across the top moves. To notify the respective people of the progress along the timeline, go to Contacts, click on the blue hyperlink for purchases, for example, and then down the bottom you'll notice a drop-down list which has all of the automated trigger emails in the system. So for example, I want to send a holding deposit received to the purchaser. I click on send, and now that will send an email to them. I click on save. You can now go to the notes under people, and you will notice that the automated emails are recorded under their notes. Next, we're going to exchange the contract and then settle on the land. Again, select New, select Exchange Deposit, select the amount, select the date deposited, and click on Save. Again, we want to reconcile the deposit and save and close. Click on the Exchange button, and now we're going to settle on the land. Go to Deposit, select New, select Land Settlement, click Save, and again, reconcile, save, and close. Now that we have the total land settlement monies received, we click on Settle Land, and now the land is settled. You will now note that the timeline across the top has been removed. We will now go and view the tutorial on the build.